Howdy ho, guys and gals. Jeff King here, back again in the Den of Tools, and we got an update about the railroad strike. If you haven't heard about this is a big deal, because if you were concerned about empty shelves before and transportation issues for products and stuff, this could make it 1,000 times worse. But don't worry, I think there's going to be a fix in place, and it's not going to be one that the railroad workers are going to like. So let's jump in. It's just backstory. So basically, the railroad workers have been threatening a strike for a good part of this year, actually for even longer than that. They've got lots of different claims and stuff that we're going to talk about. But what's going on right now is that recently there was a vote on a proposed solution. Many, there's actually several different unions. I think there's 8 or 24. So there's 11. I don't remember. There's a bunch of unions there that compromise the entirety of the railroad workers. But the largest union said no, just barely, but said no. Whereas the second largest union said yes. But that leaves the unions being like, well, if they say no, that means there's still going to be a strike. But is there? And so it was the Smart Transportation Unit. They said no. We don't think that this is going to be good enough. And it was a big deal package. All right, it was a huge pay raise. They even offered something like $16,000 in back pay for a back pay raise, or a raise they should have been offered. Because when the pandemic was going on and everyone else was sitting at home and making more money and more money and more money, the railroad workers were still on the job and not getting a raise. Anyway, but at the last minute, the Smart Union said, no, this isn't enough. This isn't what we want. But Biden has stepped in and said, hey, Congress, force these guys to keep working. And I'm not joking. Now, this has happened before. All right, this has happened with any of the unions that go around critical infrastructure. There was the air traffic controllers strike back, I think it was in the 80s with Reagan and stuff like that. Well, this is Biden stepping in saying, you know what, guys, you can't do this because the economy, as proud as we should be of the economy, which is what he just said, and as strong as the economy as he just crowed about, this would cripple the economy. Apparently the economy is strong and we should be proud of it, but it's also unstable, and one strike could cripple the entire nation. All right, sure. Anyway, today is Wednesday, the 30th of November. House passes strike averting resolution. Now, this is just the House. This is not passed the Senate. And yes, they do have the power to do this, but the House voted to pass this resolution that basically would make the contract law without it being law, basically force the railroad workers to comply with the temporary resolution, and probably then force them to agree to this contract, or otherwise basically walk away with less than what they're getting offered. Now, to put this in perspective, and we don't like to talk about politics because this is a tool channel, but you know what? Access to tools and stuff comes via this pipeline, so we have to discuss this, and of course, the Congress is the one voting on it. They voted 290 to, what was it? It was 290 to 137. So 290 votes yes, 137 votes no. Now, to break this down, in this article, I find it interesting the way they put the article. They said that 79 Republicans voted yes, while only 8 Democrats voted no. But that makes it sound like Republicans were voting for this more than Democrats. But the reality is, if 290 people voted yes and only 79 of them were Republicans, that means that 211, I took out, as you can see here, 211 of the Democrats voted yes. That means there were 10 Democrats voting no. 10 of 221. Blue. The people who stand behind unions told the unions to get back to work. Just put this in perspective again. This is Open Secrets. This is a completely nonpartisan website. All they do is tell you who's spending money and who's getting money when it comes to politics. This is the PAC profile. This is Smart Transportation. This is the largest union who just voted this down and who Congress just basically said kick sand. They raised over $2 million and spent just under 1.7. They spent just over $1.7 million in the recent election. They spent even more to get Biden elected. As you can see there, blue is for how many the Democrats they spent money on, and red is the Republicans they spent money on. Now the major players they spent this money on is Unite the Country, Kansas Values, Kansas Department of Revenue, I guess paying some taxes there. Now, that's the Democratic Party of Montana. How'd that work out for you? For those of you who don't know, we're based in Montana, so that's a local issue for us. And I live in Livingston, Montana, which is train country. We have trains. We have one of the largest train yards in Montana right here in town, because this is the train yard they hit right before they tried to make the pass over the Rockies. So we got a lot of people in town who work in the trains, or on the trains. I know a lot of my viewers work for the railroads or are affiliated with people who or companies that work with the railroads, and a lot of our friends locally are with the railroads. So anyway, but if you look at the top one, Unite the Country, who is that? Well, Open Secret refers to them as a dark money pack, or a collector aggregate of dark money. Basically, a bunch of money comes into them. They don't ask where it came from, and they give it to, well, you know who they give it to. They were one of the top contributors to support Biden getting elected in 2020, and they were one of the top contributors in the elections here in 2022. Now, I'm not saying good or bad, and I'm not placing blame on what happened. I'm just saying the unions that spend the money that go to these people just got shafted by those same government employees. A lot of people think here, you get a lot of people speculating on what my politics is. And I'm just going to say this. I am a radical centrist and extreme moderate. I believe that government is a scam, taxation is theft, and that we should give all power to, local municipalities and communities, because the federal government and all that is just a scam as far as I'm concerned. So left, right makes no difference to me, opposite sides of the same coin. But that said, you can see what's going on and why we're dealing with this. Now, as far as if you're with one of those unions, I'm going to be offering a course on how to get a refund. I don't think it's going to work, but you like throwing good money after bad, right? Okay, I kid. All right, and I'm teasing. I admit, I'm teasing, and I'm probably taking it too far. But that said, don't just blame the politicians. Look to your own unions. Yes, former Smart TD top official floats the idea of forcing through sellout rail contract, even if the workers reject it. This is on the World Socialist website. Yeah, you got that right. So this is not the first time. In fact, he knows these people. He's friends with them. Apparently, this is getting floated right now. And if you listen to the way the head guy for Smart talks, he definitely sounds like this should have gotten passed, and we're going to find a way to make it work. And it looks like the unions are looking to also shaft the people who are donating money to themselves. So it doesn't really matter one way or the other. It looks like the little guy always loses. Now, that said, if you're upset with the workers, don't be, because they've got a legit issue here. This isn't about money. It isn't about, I need thousands of dollars. It's mostly the number one issue, and I had a lot of people reach out to me, and I know a lot of people in town, and every time it's about, we want a work-life balance, and we're not getting it, and we're getting worked to death, and have been for decades. They've been working, most of these unions have been working without contracts for years and years, years and years. And like, if they want to take a day off to go get a checkup, go get some medical stuff done, they can't get it. Most of the time, if they're not working, they're on call. Well, guess what? You set up a doctor's appointment. You go to that doctor's appointment. Oh, sorry, I got to go back into work. Oh, and if you set up a doctor's appointment recently, it's like, it's worse than the DMV. Oh, we can see you in. You're bleeding out, aortal bleed. Oh, we can see you in like 6 weeks. And of course I joke and I exaggerate, but it is bad. And I feel for them and their families. As I said, I know a lot of these people, and they just want what you and I want, what you and I have, and what most people want. They want to make a good living. They want to do honest, hard work. This isn't about like a fair wage for the barista at Starbucks. These are guys and gals who are out there and putting hours and hours and hours of time in. And the federal government and their own unions seem to be shafting them. So if you can lend a voice in any way, shape, or form, do it. But anyway, I just want to let you know what's going on, because it looks like it's going to the Senate. Now, what's going to happen in the Senate? we'll have to wait and see. But the fact is, currently, Democrats could ram this through if they want. They could also kill it if they want. They have all the power in the Senate if they want to take it. We'll see what happens. Anyway, stay tuned for more updates on this and whether we're gonna have products on the shelves and whether railroad workers are actually going to be able to celebrate these holidays. Anyway, you all take care. God bless, and as always, shine on.